It's been 5 years since the Lion Guard ended and people still haven't questioned this duo. Their rushed marriage just always felt off to me, and I didn't quite know why. But if you look at the timeline of Rani's behavior towards Kion, you'll see a scary pattern. So is there another motive behind Rani marrying Kion at the end of Season 3? Spoiler alert, yes. Yes, there is. Hey everybody, I'm Tate. Can you believe the Lion Guard first started almost 10 years ago? Wow, it honestly seems like yesterday I was binge watching the episodes of this Lion King spinoff with my siblings, waiting in anticipation for the next episode during Friday. Does anybody else remember Friday?
It's Friday.
Whoa, what a nostalgia blast. And you know what? We got a pretty decent ending season for the Lion Guard. Still wish we got a Season 4, which I discussed over on my Lion King channel, go check it out. But The Lion King is just a wonderful franchise with blossoming romance and lighthearted characters. Until you reach Season 3 of The Lion Guard. There, you're met with Kion's love interest. Oh, you thought they were madly in love? Actually, one is mad, but definitely not with love. That's right, I'm gonna show you why their marriage was a mistake and why Kion should have just stayed home and taken his chances with the poison. Yeah, we're going there. So buckle up friends and grab your popcorn because we're in for a wild ride. But first, let's recap where we are in the Lion King timeline and who the heck these characters are. The Lion Guard begins after Kiara meets Kovu in Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. We know this because in the Lion Guard Season 1 Episode 20, Kovu mentions that he and Kiara have met before.
Back to the Pride Lands? That means I could see Kiara again.
You know Kiara?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
However, most of Simba's Pride takes place after Kion and the Guard leave the Pride Lands in Season 3. I know, it gets complicated, stick with me guys. It follows Kion, Simba's son, who inherits the roar of the Elders. This powerful gift makes Kion leader of the Lion Guard, sworn to protect the Pride Lands and all of its inhabitants. The first season is mostly about Kion dealing with hyenas. A bit too harshly might I add, but that's a topic for another day. But things get interesting in the second season when Kion is bitten by a venomous snake, the same type that drove Scar mad. I did a whole video on it. This incident forces Kion out of the Pride Lands in search for a cure. In the third season, we're introduced to the Tree of Life, which is basically a mystical animal hospital guarded by the Night Pride, whose leader is Rani, next in line for the throne. Kion and his guard are attacked upon arrival, but through mostly peaceful conversations with Rani, they become quote-unquote allies. Eventually, Kion is healed and he and his guard return home. Happy ending, right? Well, not quite. Kion actually returns back to the Tree of Life with persuasion to follow his heart from his sister Kiara. Yes, the same one from the second movie, Kion is her little brother. When he returns, they get married and the rest of the guard stays with him, conveniently keeping these characters out of the picture for the second movie, might I add. This brings us to how Rani is using Kion and why she is. We'll start with the why. You see, the Night Pride only works during the night, hence the name. And although the Lion Guard sometimes works during the night, they mainly protect during the day, because most of their predators hunt in daylight. But over at the Tree of Life, they have predators that attack during the day and night. So for most of Season 3, the Lion Guard and the Night Pride team up, which Rani wasn't exactly thrilled about to start with, but they kind of had to because it's a safety hazard for there to only be a night watch. Kion and his guard work the day shift while the Night Pride obviously work the night shift. It's around this point Rani realizes that just having the Night Pride protect the tree ain't gonna cut it anymore, Chief. And eventually, the Lion Guard is going back to the Pride Lands, leaving the Tree of Life vulnerable. So, how could she make them stay? Well, it's gonna be pretty much impossible to make the whole guard stay. And wait, what if they could just keep one of them? Possibly the one with a very powerful roar? Ooh, yeah. So this means that pretty much all she would need is Kion, and the others would pretty much follow him blindly anyway, as we see at the end. Well, and since Kion already has googly eyes for her, it wouldn't be too hard to convince him to stay with just a little sweet talking. Now, of course, there's going to be some Rani enthusiasts that say she was oh so perfect for Kion and they were simply meant to be. But admit it, Kion would be a powerful asset to the Tree of Life. When Makini reveals the full potential of the roar, you can see the gears turning in Rani.
Maybe he's still working on the roar.
Still working on it.
What do you mean, Makini?
Queen Jonna showed me a painting from a long time ago, until he learned everything that the roar could do.
If Kion were to learn everything the roar can do, and the roar were to stay here, I need to talk to Kion.
So obviously she changed her personality towards Kion once she realized this, as we can see throughout the rest of the season. What's that? Don't believe me? Well, here's Rani's first interaction with Kion.
Lion, who are you? We protect everyone at the Tree of Life from those who might cause them harm. Like you and your roar.
I need help.
I'm sure you do. You and your friends will never be welcome at the Tree of Life. Leave now and never return.
Leave now and never come back.
Yikes. And here's somewhere in the middle.
Kion? Lion Guard, what are you doing here?
We came to help?
That's right. Where are the bad guys? Let me at 'em.
They're gone. Defending the Tree of Life is our job, and we're good at it.
But-
we don't need your help. You came for healing, so stay out of our way, get healed, and go home.
Kion and his friends were just trying to help out. And does she at least appreciate the sentiment? Nope. Rani even said herself she just wants them gone. No sympathy for her healing, helpful friends from the Pride Lands. She just views them as a nuisance, an obstacle that needs to be removed ASAP. And sure, that was still kind of towards the beginning. Maybe she appreciated them as she got to know them, but I wouldn't be too sure of that. Here's a clip after she became Queen of the Tree of Life, so this is towards the end of the season.
From now on, follow my lead.
Why? But Kion's great at taking the lead.
I know Kion has potential to be a great leader, but
Potential? Kion's already a great leader.
See that? Even Kion's friends had to stand up to this bully. Man, don't you love Fuli? Now that's a friend right there. Not this selfish, high and mighty, I just can't wait to be queen. And you're telling me she falls in love with Kion just 2 episodes later? Something fishy's going on here. But anywho, here's how this all plays out in the end.
do make a good team, Kion.
The Lion Guard and the Night Pride work really well together.
Well, yeah, but I also mean you and me.
Wow. Change of heart much? For context, this was after the Guard had done a ton of rescue missions at the tree, clearly showing they are in fact useful. And when they were just about to leave, but wait, it gets better. Rani doesn't even bother calling Kion by his name when returned. She just said that she was happy the roar returned to the Tree of Life.
I'm glad the roar has returned to the Tree of Life again. The roar has returned to the roar.
Oof, not a great way to start a marriage. And to make matters even worse, we see this over and over and over again. She was so dazzled by his newfound power and the possibility of him being the new knight in shining armor for the Tree of Life that she only sees him for his ability. What makes this even more weird is their ages. Both Kion and Rani seem to be around 2 years old. We can tell this because Kion has just begun growing his mane. And sure, he had a little tuft when he was a cub, but now he actually seems to be growing it. This is also the time when lions reach sexual maturity. Now, lion aging is quite different from human aging. For one, they don't live as long, and 2, they actually reach sexual maturity earlier than humans. Although 1 human year is roughly about 7 lion years, there's quite a bit of debate amongst how exactly lions age. Some argue that the first 2 years of a lion's life are worth somewhere between 8 and 10 human years. That's a big oof right there. That's about as old as this show's target demographic. But even if we go with the 7-to-1 ratio, that still means Kion and Rani are at max 14 years old. And that's assuming Rani is the same age as Kion. She could actually be older, meaning she could have married a minor. But so, they've reached maturity. What's the big deal? Well, that's the big deal. Just because lions reach sexual maturity a bit sooner than humans, that doesn't mean that these fictional lions have reached mental maturity. Because if we go back and look at Simba and Nala's love story, Kion's mom and dad, Simba has a full-on mane, meaning he's at least 4.5 years old, or at least 30 human years. Same goes for Kiara and Kovu. So Kion getting married right when he reaches sexual maturity is out of the norm even in the Lion King world. And this is probably because he doesn't know how to handle these new hormones and marries the first cute lioness he likes. And his sister and parents sure didn't help at all. In fact, they encouraged it. They should have met with Rani before going, yeah, sure, you can marry her. However, Rani's actions, although wrong, stem from desperation. The Tree of Life is vulnerable. Her grandmother died. Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. and she's under pressure to take the responsibility of becoming queen of the Tree of Life. She's in a dire situation, and what do people do in dire situations? They do stupid, even morally wrong things. Yes, even pretend to fall in love with someone for the sake of protection. So was she successful? Yes, very much so. She even got the 5-for-1 special with the whole guard coming back. And I know what you're all thinking. Will Kion ever figure out her true intentions? And the answer is yes, or no, in a way. It's so hard to predict what could happen, but I suppose time will tell whether or not there's true, genuine, can you feel the love tonight chemistry, or if it's merely a grand performance orchestrated and performed by the two-faced and self-serving Queen Rani, who so far seems to have good intentions, but what happens when things don't go her way? Will that be her breaking point, or will it be when those teenage hormones run out and all Kion's left with is rushed, life-changing decisions? But of course we'll never know because The Lion Guard Season 4 was cancelled, which I talked about in a video on my Lion King channel, which you should subscribe to. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to hit that lovely looking subscribe button for more content like this. Speaking of more content like this, YouTube thinks that you'll like the video that just popped up on screen. I will see you there.